Welcome to the Mami Collective. I'm Paulina Rowe, radio host, TV contributor, writer, and mom of one. This is where ambitious moms come to keep their identity intact while navigating motherhood. Here we talk about the real stuff: career, money, relationships, identity, and everything that gets messy in between. You won't find sugarcoating or cliches. What you will find are unfiltered conversations, real resources, and proof that you don't have to lose yourself to be a good mom. The Mami Collective is here to remind you can be ambitious, you can take up space, and you can thrive in motherhood and in everything else that makes you, you. Before we get into the episode, make sure you're following the Mami Collective on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and share this podcast with a mommy in your life who needs a little inspiration or just a reminder that she's killing it. Also, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter and leave us a review so we can keep showing up and reach every ambitious mom out there doing big things. Let's get into it.
It's Paulina. We are back with another episode. I'm so excited for today's. I get to chat with Karen Vega, who also is on the gram on TikTok, Chicago Moms, Chicago Latina mom. You are a content creator, mom of 3. You've also in the past, you've had a business. So you've really kind of you've done it all. And I love that about you. So Karen, how are you?
Oh my God. What a great intro. Thanks. I'm doing good. I'm great actually. I this morning, super random, I woke up thinking we were already on Sunday, like daylight savings. So I was like, wow, it's technically, I woke up at 7, but I was like, wow, it's technically 6. And I literally thought that, I don't know for how many hours. And then I was like, wait, that's tomorrow. So anyway, besides that, I'm pretty good. I've had a pretty good morning. All good.
Good. I love it. So Karen, if you don't mind sharing with our listeners, just a little bit about yourself, a little brief bio, who you are. You're located here in Chicago, the kind of content you create. We're going to dive into your story, but give us a little bit of a background.
Yeah. So I actually I was born and raised in the Chicago suburbs, northwest suburbs. So I've been here. I am a mom of 3 and been married for a really long time, like 12 years, which it's so crazy, honestly, because I feel like time just goes by so fast. But full-time working mom. I started my content creation stage about a year and a half ago. So I'm Chicago Moms, and I focus mainly on Chicago family activities to do around the city. And that's just been really, really fun. It's been taken off, and we have a really good time because, I don't know, I like to stay busy.
You look like you have a really, really good time on social. And as a new mom myself, right, sometimes I don't know where to go, what to do with the kids, what's even going on out there. Mm-hmm. So you're one of the pages that I run to. I'm not even being funny, just because I'm like, what can we do this weekend? Or what can I do with her on a Tuesday at 4 o'clock, right? Or like 2 o'clock? Because I got to keep my kid entertained, and I know we live in Chicago, which already has so much to offer, but then there's always the fun, like experiences, pop-ups, the whatever's coming to town kind of thing. And I know you're typically on the pulse of that. So I think that's like really cool what you're doing because yes, like it's content creating and you're showing us things, but as a mom, like I learn about a lot of things because of you, what's coming, what's happening. Yeah. I would say, so you're like my library of things to do.
That's so sweet. I honestly, it's like, so crazy because I started my page essentially because of that. I had a lot of people asking me questions and stuff. But now it's just kind of like I do it, I have fun. And then I almost forget that, there's people that I know that are following me and they'll like bring up, oh, I saw that you did this. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's just so strange because I do it, of course, to share my experience, but in a sense, I forget that there's so many people following and like actually using my advice and I love it. So thank you.
Absolutely. No, I love it. I love it. So first I want to sort of dive into that, right? You're building content and you talk about, culture, city life, things to do, motherhood. So what was the moment that sort of made you feel like I should start sharing this publicly? Because I'm assuming you would do this already without maybe filming it or recording it as a mom. Like you're already out and about. So what made you decide I'm going to start recording it and then editing it, which takes work, guys. All that's work. Exactly. And then posting it to the world. So how did that start?
So I feel like, honestly, I'm always the person who just always wants to, I don't intentionally, but I guess, I like to be busy. I'm always doing stuff. I'm always looking for like, oh, what should we do next? And eventually it was just that I was always doing things with the kids, whether it was like going to parks, It was going to nature center. It was just, there's just honestly so many things. I will say, now that I'm in the space, it's just so crazy because at first I was like, I wonder if there's going to be enough things to do always that I can actually be creating all the time. Like, am I going to run out of ideas or things to do in like a year or two? And I feel like I've only maybe done like 10%. I mean, it's just, it's so crazy, but it's so, so cool because I feel like, honestly, there's so many suburbs that I visited that I would have never gone to. So even myself, I feel like I'm learning a lot as I go. But sorry, back to your question. I started because, yeah, it was a lot of people. I would post here and there, just random things like, whatever I was doing. And I had a lot of family and friends just asking, like, was it worth it? Like, should I go? There was just always questions. And a lot of times it was like similar questions. And I was like, you know what? If I just start posting, I could just kind of answer all the questions there. And not that I didn't want to answer those questions for those people, because of course I did, but it was just nice to be like, I'm going to start doing this. And that's kind of how I took off. And it was honestly not even something that I thought about for a long time. It was like, oh yeah, I should do it. Okay, let me start next week. Like it was so fast. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to put myself out there and yeah.
I love it. No, that's very true. I mean, you saw that, you were essentially already doing something. And I think a lot of creators or people who want to go in that space, and sometimes I struggle with this too. I'm just like, will I cap this? Will there be enough content for me to still talk about this or create this? And sometimes we don't know where to start, right? They're always like, well, start with like something authentic that you already do, right? Like, I don't know shit about like flowers and plants, and I'm probably not going to start there. I'm not going to like start planting, but like, I don't know enough, and maybe that's the series. I don't know what to do. Yeah. Like, learn with me, but I also know that's like not my passion and all that.
100%.
I was going to ask too, like for someone a mom especially, or someone who's trying to like get into that space, do you recommend kind of leaning into something that you do already or that you actually like? Because I feel like if you don't like it, you're not going to stick with it.
Yes. So 100%, because I do hear a lot, like you should find your niche. But I think for me, so random, but I went to school for hospitality and I was a sales manager at a venue for a long time. And then I ended up working somewhere else. And I remember there, like a lot of times people have said, you should be in sales. You would be great in sales. But for me, I'm like, I don't want to be in sales for something that I don't like feel strongly about, because like I have to really like, if I was, setting up conferences or weddings or whatever that was, like to me, that was like so natural because I love it, So the same thing here where it just came so natural for me, like just to do it because it's things that I was already doing. So I would definitely say if you're going to go into the space, it should be something that you really love.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I love that. I love it. So was there really a moment, right, when Chicago Moms, when you kind of shifted from posting like maybe like let's call them fun finds or something to becoming like a real platform with the purpose? Like, was there a moment where you're like, okay, like starting today, I'm going to start making this essentially into a business or a brand or whatever you want to call it? Like, was there like one moment, like one shift?
I think, I wouldn't say a specific moment, but I definitely feel like I was really just, when I first started, I was looking more so for just more economic places, not economical, but I wasn't really thinking about restaurants. I wasn't really thinking about just kind of beyond just like play cafes and parks and this. And then eventually I started having people reaching out, asking me to do certain opportunities. And yeah, so it's definitely for sure, I would say evolved because now my main focus is family friendly Chicagoland activities, but I also do occasional date nights now, and I'll also do like girls' nights, and you won't see that as much as like the family friendly, but it's also kind of nice to share a little bit about me, like behind the scenes of who I am, because I started my platform on TikTok, and TikTok, I feel like it's just kind of, I feel like you don't have to show yourself as much. I don't know. Like, I feel like on Instagram, it's like you build more of that. Okay, maybe on both you do. But on Instagram, I felt like I had to actually show, my everyday and like me, my like who I am as a mom. And now I lost my trail of thoughts.
You said there wasn't like one moment, but you still want to
Oh
show like,
yeah. So I just do different. Yeah, I just started from there. It was just more so once I started to actually start growing more, I started seeing, like, I started getting more invitations to different things. And I think I would say that was maybe about 8 months in, like 6 to 8 months, where. Mhm.
oh, nice. That kind of transitions really nicely into my next question. So, brand identity, I know that's like a big conversation, especially with social media and creating, but what parts of your identity, like, what parts essentially do you feel most present in your content? And if it's not one, is it all? Is it being like a Chicago mom? Is it being Latina? Is it being a woman who's building something of her own? What does that look like?
I think my main focus would be like my family, like family experiences. But I do like to incorporate a little bit of everything. Like, yes, being a Chicago mom, being a Latina, I've actually had opportunities to work with brands that just want Spanish speaking. And I
Mm,
really do love that. And that's something that I'm honestly currently trying to figure out, if I'm being honest. Like, I want to somehow incorporate it all, but it's just that, when I first started, it was like, this is what we're going to focus on. And I feel like I'm starting to get comfortable in a space where now I can start shifting and being more like, I want to bring more of my cultura. I want to like
mm,
post more. And my kids are actually bilingual. And I did a video with my kids and it was so cute. They were so ready. They were so camera ready. I was like so surprised. Like my dad was
oh,
like, okay, we're going to start right now. Okay, yeah. And she was, she got all ready. And so I think that I would like to. I'm there, but I'm not 100% there, where it's a little bit of like it's that I would say this is exactly where I want to be. But I'm getting there. I'm growing and I'm focusing.
I love it. So I kind of want to talk about the growth part of like your content creation of everything that you're doing. What was the moment? And I feel like there had to be something, maybe it wasn't like an exact moment, but there was
Yeah.
maybe a time frame where your content started shifting to a point where you were either getting brand deals, you were either getting invites, you were getting paid, whatever that was or looks like. What was that moment? Because I feel like everyone thinks this happens overnight and it just doesn't.
Yeah. No, it definitely does that. I think probably being invited to spaces where other creators are that I follow that are like big, like I felt like I was like, wow, like I'm in the room where there's so many creators who have hundreds and thousands of followers. And I think that there's moments, and like you said, it's not one specific moment, but there's like certain brands that have like noticed me. And I actually spoke to one who I was just so honored and like surprised to even be, working with. And they were like, oh, we've been following along for a few weeks and we really like, and I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Like, so that's been really nice. But I feel like I'm a very yes person. Like, I'm going to do it, even though if it's going to intimidate me or if it's going to make me feel some sort of way, like, I'm just going to make it work. And I just keep telling myself, I'm like, I'm worthy. I deserve a spot in here. So, yeah, but I would say, yeah, it's when I got the invite and there was like so many other creators that I was like, oh my God, I'm here.
No, that's awesome and so well deserved. Do you remember where you were on your like growth journey? Like, I don't know, were you at like a certain amount of followers at that time? Were you already posting for like a year straight? What did that moment look like as far as like your follower count? I don't know if you remember what that was, or even like where you were with like your content and stuff. Like, was it a year into posting? Were you consistent? Like, what was the grind behind it, right? Until you got into those rooms.
I think it was not right away. It was maybe about, yeah, like no, like 8 months into it. I was under 10,000 followers on TikTok. I will say it's been really interesting because one platform does really well. The other one, I'm still like navigating and trying to, figure it out. So yeah, it's definitely you continue to put yourself out there. I think that's what's tough. Sometimes it's like you're posting and you're really wanting your videos to perform well, especially if it's like a paid collab or if it's a big collab, and
Mhm.
you just never know what's going to do well. I could post something that I recorded in like 5 minutes and that's like takes off. And then something that I really want to take off doesn't.
Yeah, that
But,
happens.
right? It's just so crazy. But I'm sorry.
No,
Because I forgot.
you're totally fine. No, but you said that it took you 8 months. Again, there's always work behind it that I hope our listeners, that they're like understanding that because everybody wants it so fast,
Yeah. Sorry. What I was going to get into was talking about the importance of consistency. I feel like
Mm,
I would be posting pretty often, and I did. I planned a lot. I like knew the schedules, but it's definitely, you do hear that a lot. You have to be consistent. You have to be strategic as far as like when you're posting. And honestly, I don't know. I will say this. I don't know that if I'm posting on a Friday night versus a Sunday morning, if it's going to do way better. I think I just kind of post with what works for me because what I was doing, I was like, honestly, I felt like I was like burning myself out because I was like, I have to get this and this done by this date. And oh man, around the holidays was just like so crazy for me. I was like,
sure.
but it's good because it's learning. And now I'm kind of more like, okay, I have to step back and do what I can. And like, I just can't put too much on my plate. But I've always been that person that is like, yeah, I just want to do it all. But I'm starting to be in a place where I'm definitely deciding more on like, does it make sense? Is it like worth me going? And a lot of the events and stuff are in Chicago. And I'm not in Chicago. So, I mean, I'm in Chicago, I'm the suburbs, but it depends. It could be a 40-minute drive to the event, or if it's on a Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening, it could be an hour and a half commute. So I've definitely, I'm learning as I'm going, and I'm trying to be more, I would say, picky. Not picky, but like just better with my time.
100%. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask as well. Because I feel like as a mom, we're just so busy and there's always so much going on. So what are the criteria for you, for Karen, to be like, okay, I'm going to attend and I will, make content, make video. Like you're at a certain point too, I think with your content creation and with your brand that, you can say no to certain things. And it's like no shade, no tea. It's not even that like you are quote, like I can't make it because I'm too big or too good for this. But like
Oh,
if you were to
100%.
if you were to say yes to everything, you would never be home. You wouldn't be home right now,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. I think that honestly though, when I first started and the invites were coming in, I was like, I gotta go. I have to go because I have to network. I have to grow. Now it's more so a combination of things, to be honest. Like, does it make sense? I'm not gonna put something, if I have a family event or if I have something going on with my family or the kids have sports, stuff like that, of course that's gonna be priority. So it's a combination of things between my husband and I because he's really supportive, but I also want to make sure that I'm respecting him and I am home. So if I have an event, if I have multiple events in one week, it's a combination of things so it'll be, I guess, location. Is it more of a networking opportunity? And trust me, there's been some that I haven't been able to attend that I'm like, oh my God, I dropped the ball. But it's fine because I know there's going to be other opportunities, but I think too, it's a combination of like, if it's something that I really want to do, like I've been wanting to check that out or I've been wanting to. So I wouldn't say. And like you said, it's not that I feel like, oh, I'm too good for that. Not at all. It's never about that. It's just more so if it fits in my schedule, if it's something that I truly feel like aligns with what I'm doing. And yeah, so.
Totally. And that's completely okay because that's the only way to stay sane,
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said,
And
you wouldn't.
honestly, I will tell you, I've gotten so much better about saying now. It's like crazy because I was yes, yes, yes. And then I was so exhausted.
Oh, 100%. I
And
bet.
it's really nice though, sometimes if it's not just an event, if it's something where it's like, yes, it might be a grand opening and I can't make it to that time. A lot of the times, whoever it is that I'm working with, they'll also be like, I'm like, unfortunately, I'm like already committed to something else. I would still love to come in. So it is just working with them and seeing if there's another day or something that I could come. Mhm.
Oh, I love that. And that's a great way to make a connection too. Because you said you're not always going to be available. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, not humanly possible. So that's great advice for anyone listening who's also experiencing that, or maybe, is wondering how to navigate where if they can't make it. Like, and you have FOMO and you're like, oh, but there you
We
go.
all have FOMO. It's like, I
Oh,
mean,
oh yeah, 100%. So a lot of people see content creation, right, as just posting. I love my husband to death. I do. But girl, I feel like he doesn't, and I don't even post that much, okay? My content, and it needs to be a lot better than it is. I just never get to it. A lot of people sometimes might look at it like, oh, you're just on your phone, or oh, you're just posting stuff. And that bothers me because I'm like sitting in my bed for 2 hours editing a video, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you try this. Like you sit here for 2 hours and edit this video.
yes.
But what do you wish that more people understood about the work that goes behind being
Oh,
a creator, like a mom creator, especially?
that's a great question, actually. It's a lot of work. It is. And yes, it's like you see it, as you're watching people's videos. And that's why, honestly, for me, I try to also interact a lot with other creators because I know how important these campaigns are for them and I know how much work they put into it. So it's a lot
I
of
love it.
editing. It's a lot of, for me personally, it used to be, because I would try to do it more so when the kids were asleep. So I'd be like, I'm gonna stay up late and I'm gonna do it. But I am not a late night person. Like unless I'm out, like maybe having a drink or two, which is very not common now, but I don't really stay up. Like I can't. And so now what I've shifted to that works for me is I'm getting up really early, which
Mm,
sometimes I won't lie. Sometimes I'm like on my bike or, well, like on the elliptical, something, like as I'm editing, because I also want to, like, yes, I'll be in my bed, I'll edit there, but it's also like trying to make the best out of when I can edit. And yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice because again, it's ultimately up to you. You don't have to be waking up really early to edit. It's all about how you manage your time. But I am a really big planner, and I do think that organizing my time where I feel comfortable as far as like, I know I'm going to have X amount of time to edit and then like write my captions. And so it's a combination, but it's a lot of
yeah.
work. So
Oh,
yeah.
100%. Well, that's so true. And thank you for sharing that as well. What point did you realize that your content had actual, like, real influence, right, in the community? Like, I know you mentioned people would ask you for, like, oh, did you like this place? What do you think of this? But what really made you realize, like, I'm making an impact?
I think it's been different times where people that I know would just ask me random questions like, oh my God, I saw that you're friends with so and so, or I saw that you went there and I decided to go and I thought it was so cool. And it's a combination of things, but yeah, it's just more so people just being like, hey, that they're giving me feedback and being like, or even, okay, this is something interesting. I started recently, I'm working with someone with an affiliate like program, right? So I'm like, well, probably no one's gonna really click my link and buy anything. And then I see like how many people, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, again, because it's just like so weird. I just feel like it's just me. It's normal. It's like I'm posting almost like for myself. And so whenever I see certain numbers or engagements, or I'm working with like, I'm seeing like, because certain brands that I work with, which is pretty cool, but it's kind of like a little intimidating, but it's awesome. But they'll give you the rates. They'll be like, okay, we looked you up and this is how engagement, this and this, and they give you all my stats. And I'm like, oh, okay. And getting that, being like, you are doing really well, your engagement is here and you're following. And so I think that that's awesome where it's the numbers are actually showing something that, because for me, I'm like, I'm just posting. This is fun. I'm doing it. And I think that what's important for me and why I continue to do it and I'll continue to do it is because at the end of the day, I genuinely enjoy it. And I think that like I'm having a good time and and I don't want it to ever feel like work, which it is work, but I don't want it to be like work where I'm like done. Like, no, I can't do this anymore. So again, kind of learning.
No,
It's on
100%.
that.
It really is. It is. And I completely agree. Have you ever felt like tension when it comes to between creating content that people want, like let's say, you know that they're expecting this or they want this kind of content versus like what feels like natural or good to you, or does it sort of just kind of overlap? Because I feel like you also truly do enjoy it.
Honestly, no, I have not felt that because I think that at the end of the day, you're the creator. And if you want to accept to work with someone, like I'm doing it, as long as it's something like a brand or a place, that aligns with me, then I'm gonna do it. But if it's something that is like totally and like not really at all, like I just unfortunately, and again, and it kind of goes back to me saying yes to everything. There's like I can't say yes to everything. And I do feel like I choose to post what I like. So I never really have had that happen, thankfully, where it's just because then, yeah, then it becomes, I feel like it's hard to like not sell, but do something that you don't like love.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I completely agree. And what kind of support system do you personally have that kind of makes it possible for you to do this, but also, raising three kids? What does your village support system, what does that look like?
It's amazing.
Love
I
it.
feel like I'm like emotional. Honestly, of course, I would say my husband to be, he's super supportive and he's like super proud. And I think what's really nice about my content is that it includes my kids most of the time. I would say 75% of the time. So that's really awesome because I'm doing things with the kids. But my mom, she's always been like number one Karen supporter. She's like the biggest cheerleader. So when I first started, I love her. She just is like so like yes, do it. Like you got So I mean, not just her, friends, family. I would say a lot of my friends, a lot of my cousins, they're always like sharing, leaving comments and all that, and it's nice because I think that something that a lot of creators will say is that once you start your content, a lot of your like the friends and family that they have don't like a single post. And I'm grateful to say that I can say a lot of my family and friends are, cheering me on. And even if they're like, and I'm not seeing it, like I'm not checking to see who all liked my stuff, but sometimes they'll reshare things and I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Or sometimes I'll get a message for, oh, so and so told me about this. And it was like, I'm like, oh, so it's just a lot of little behind the scenes that I don't even see that people talk about. So all of that, it doesn't go unnoticed. But I'm
That's
very
so
lucky to have
I love
that.
it.
Yeah, I would say my intimate family, my sisters, my in-laws, they're really helpful too, where if I need help with the kids, they're always like, yeah, let's go. Got you. And that's most important. Yeah. Because, as a mom, you get burned out and it's like maybe if you just need an hour of just alone time. And it's like, so having that alone is just, and not just for content creation, just in life in general. Like as a mom, just being able to have that alone time to just do whatever you want to do, whatever if that's taking a bath, if that's cleaning your house, like my kids were like, we're gonna go have a sleepover with my aunt. I'm like, and the first thing that came to my head was like, oh my God, I'm gonna deep clean like my like that's how I want to spend my alone time. I'm like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna get my groceries, like, but everybody's alone time is different. So yeah, having
Oh
the
yeah.
mhm.
I'm the same way. I love my alone time. Sometimes I'll just doom scroll. Sometimes I'm scrubbing every toilet.
100%.
Like it's just, yeah, it's whatever the mood is for the day. I love it. I love
Yes.
it. So, what does like a behind the scenes look like for you? And I always like to ask this to anyone who does content creation because I know that's like the biggest question that I feel like our listeners have. It's like, as maybe like, as small as it might sound, like this really does help other moms I've noticed or other content creators. What does it look like for you when you're going to your event or you're going to this place? if I was to see you and the kids, do you have your ring light? Do you have the tripod? Like, what does your system setup look like? I'm always so curious.
Every
And
oh,
then, yeah, like, what does that look like? And also, too, like, your editing, like, any tools, anything that you don't want to gatekeep to the community, like, what do you use? I know a lot of people love to ask that, and I'm just like, "Guys, I don't know. I don't do this."
that is so funny. I think I'm honestly so basic in a sense where I'm like, I just recently got a light and a tripod. Like, I don't know what I've been doing this whole, but I just make it work,
Yeah.
But
Yes.
behind the scenes, I will say, whenever I attend whatever it is that I'm doing, I do focus. Obviously, I'm there to create content, but I want to do it in a way where it's not getting in the way of actually like I'm having fun. Does that make sense? Like if I'm gonna go to a new play cafe, I'm there. Yes, I'm creating content, but I'm also focusing on like my kids actually not feeling like they're like, oh, we have to go. Like, and now I have to
Mhm.
smile. And it's like, it's never that. It's just like, as we're doing stuff and it's like, oh, that would be a cute idea. I'll just record there. Even if I'm having dinner and if it's like, I'll try to get there and create a little bit. Like, I'll record at the beginning and then be like, okay, I'm gonna have my phone down. I'm gonna enjoy this. And then I'm gonna so as I go, so I would say that behind the scenes for me, it's a lot of wanting to really somehow balance recording and creating and also actually enjoying and being present as I'm doing it. Because ultimately, I do love, which I just thought of, and I know we spoke about this earlier, another reason why you asked about why I started to make content. I thought, how cool would it be to be able to document my kids' childhood in a
Oh,
series, like of
that's so
all
sweet.
like the really fun times and a lot of the things that we did, and to be able to look back, I just thought, and obviously I'm not documenting like every single thing I do. My kids' privacy is important too in our family, but you know, I think looking back one day, and I feel like I'm getting emotional just thinking about like in the future when my kids are parents and just be like, wow, we got to do all this. And just remember, because there's so many things when they're little that you want to like just hold forever. But life just goes by so fast that like
Yeah.
it's not that you want to forget. It's just that there's just every single day, there's things that come up so it's a nice way, I think, for me to have a little bit of like I'm documenting in a way some of their childhood.
That is the sweetest thing I've ever heard. That is so sweet, but so true. I still go through like my mom's albums from like when we were kids,
Yeah.
when she took photos of us. Like, I don't know what happened to the videos. We used to have like the VHS. I don't know what happened to those. But every couple months I go through the photos and like not the same obviously as like seeing a video and like today's, the youth that
Yeah.
we have today. But I'm like, how cool is that? And I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's so cool that we're gonna have that to show our kids and to build memories.
Yeah. Like it's so crazy because growing up, we weren't social media. Like I didn't have a phone until I was in high school. And it was like, that's when kids were starting to get like phones. And so I think we don't know what like our kids are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I kind of had a question too for you and your thoughts on this because I feel like sometimes the creator world, and specifically when it comes to like mom content, and this is very broad, right? Because mom
Mhm.
content is very much, I mean, we're doing mom content now, right? I mean, there is like a world of it out there. But something that I've been noticing and caught my eye was on TikTok specifically, there have been a couple of, I'll say, mom creators who share their journeys, their life, and everything. And a lot of them, unfortunately, I think that's really sad is that they are, I'm gonna say that they're beefing a little bit, right? And I don't like that for a lot of reasons. But a lot of them are accusing each other of taking each other's, stealing content, stealing niches. There is one recently that I'm thinking of, and I'm just kind of like, it makes me sad, right? Because first of all, the world's already so hard and life is hard. So like, we don't need to be doing this to each other, ladies. But I've noticed that it's becoming common to kind of, I don't know, bump heads in that regard. And obviously, like you said it before, you're like, I know a ton of other mom content creators who do content kind of like how I do, right? How you do,
Yeah.
where you're like, yeah, we recorded places, whatever. What are your kind of thoughts behind that, right? When it comes to just I don't know, the ugly side of it, right? Where like moms come for each other or they're accusatory. Because I'm gonna say something that's a little controversial, and people I feel like are gonna hate me, but I had to make a video about this myself. But I feel like unless you truly are Steve Jobs, R.I.P. to that man, I don't know how much of it is quote unique in the sense of like it's just never been done, right? And I
Mhm.
know that's controversial and people want to kill me when I say that, and it's like no, like truly, like I've seen things done, but I see them done differently. Your content is different, and it may be the same niche, wheelhouse, whatever, but it's done differently because you're Karen, and that's how Karen does it. Versus, I don't know, I don't know who Susan is, but Susan is doing this, right? And it might be very similar to yours. Now, don't get me wrong, if somebody came the next day and started taking every part of your aesthetic or started taking every part of your stuff, then I
Mhm.
can see that, right? We're saying,
Yeah.
okay, like we're really kind of copying here. But regardless of what I say or what I think, what are your thoughts being in that space and truthfully probably seeing that in real time?
I think that, I mean, there's room for everyone and, there's an audience for everyone. So I think personally, like, yeah, like you said, no one is really stealing anything. Like, if I'm going to post about a new place that just opened, downtown, I know I'm not the only one. Like, of course, that's what we do. We're sharing our experiences. And it's like, I see it like, you can't really be like, that was my idea, or I posted that first because of, I almost see it like you should be like, wow, I did such a good job. So many people thought it was so great that they wanted to do something similar. But
Right.
I feel like I've always been very drama free in a sense where I don't really even allow myself to even get there. But it does. It makes me sad, that, yeah, like, because content creators, like, it's a whole different world. It's like their own. And then you hear things, like you said, you hear certain things. People said this and this. I really try not to involve myself or to pick a side or be like, I'm just very neutral, very Switzerland. Yeah. So, I mean, there's really not, I don't know if there's anything that I can say that's going to make people not, have disagreements and stuff. But I would just say that, I mean, if you're posting about Chicago, then yeah, it's going to be, I mean, unless you're doing something really that's just in your house that's super authentic, that like you can't really say that park was I posted about that park. Like it's a park, and I posted about so yeah, those are my thoughts.
Hey, I love it. And thank you for sharing that because I felt like you're very sweet as a person. And like, obviously, I felt like I do see and hear that. And people make videos about it. That's kind of how I found out through like TikTok. And I'm talking more like of the broader mom stuff. It's not even like
Yeah.
necessarily like, like involving kids. Like, God, no, 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 no. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just very interesting because I'm like, well, I'm like, isn't there room for everybody? And like at the end of the day, it's like how Karen does it is different than Susan, is different than Vanessa. It's just like always going to be different because no one can ever replicate you. And I've always said that,
100%. One
you
thing I
know?
will say about that, which, like you said, like no shade to anyone, I wish I had that much time to give so much energy to something negative. Like, I'm like, man, I'm over here trying to like figure out like the kid schedule and then this. And it's like, and that's just how I've always been, to be honest, where I'm just like, I just don't need negative things. Like, and it's just, I just don't have time for it, to be honest. That's just
Girl, I feel you. I feel you. Before we wrap up, I am curious, what are you building right now that people, your followers, might not fully see yet, but essentially that you're up to, maybe kind of what you're leaning towards? You kind of mentioned at the beginning too, you're deciding if you want to do like not English, Spanish content as
Mhm.
well. So what are you sort of doing behind the scenes, especially with like summer coming up? So I know you're about to be
Oh,
crazy
so
busy.
good. Okay, I will say something that keeps coming up which is, I don't know if I would say necessarily building, but it's like even going into YouTube space. I feel like
Mm.
I'm nervous because I'm like, I don't know that I can handle even more. But I think for me, what I'm building is more so just that connection and authenticity that is just going to create even more of a long-term relationship with my audience. Like, because for me, of course, we all have goals, like I feel like, and our goals are all different, but I want to post so that I'm creating that relationship with my audience where they'll be like, okay, if she posted, then I really gotta go, like building that, I would say, and then just continue to, for myself, just giving myself more time and being more present. I feel like I pride myself in being present, but that's something that, and I don't know that I would say that's necessarily connected to content creation, but I think that I'm really working on that whenever I'm at an event, even if I'm meeting other creators or if I'm meeting other, like my audience and stuff, I want to make sure that they feel like they're really, really getting to know me. And yeah, I would say that.
Absolutely. Oh, well, I'm excited for you. I am so grateful that you were able to come on the pod today, and I'm excited to see all the other content that you'll be building up again, especially because I know summer's coming up, and then it's back to
I'm
school,
so
back to
excited for summer.
holidays. I know.
Yeah.
I can't.
You know what? I'm glad we're talking about this because I feel like a few months back, I was so ahead of stuff. I was like, okay, it was like September and I was like, I have to start thinking about Christmas. And I feel like it's been like a slower beginning of 2026 where I'm kind of just going with the flow. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this as I go. But I do also like to start thinking ahead of like, I was looking into, there's a lot of events that are happening or that are opening or things that are coming up in 2026 that are really exciting. So I feel like I want to put lists of, things for parents to kind of like look forward to or like save the dates. Like all that is really exciting because I like to kind of be in the know. Well, yeah, of course I do. But I feel like I like to know of things that are coming up. Oh my God, my husband was, okay, sorry, but my husband was like, babe, they're doing a Pokemon exhibit at the Field Museum. And I was like, yeah, like, for me, I feel like I do a lot of research for my page and I'm not going to say I'm always on top of it. I'm not, but I try to like think ahead. So it was like so cute because he was like, we got to get tickets. And I was like, okay, because in my head, I've been knowing about it for a few weeks but it's really cute too. He shares a lot of things with me that he's like, we got to do this and we got to go. And I feel like now I'm just chatty catty.
No.
Lastly, I want to build on focusing also on our small community. And I do really like that whenever I post about mom and pop places, whether, food or place or space, and it's just like me just going, no one's invited me. I'm just like, oh, I want to record here. And I just want my content, it does well with the community. And I love it because I feel like for me, it's also like, I hope in a way it helped them get a little busier or, so I think that I want to continue on that where it's just, and my husband grew up in Chicago. And so he has a lot of places where he'd be like, we should go there. The other day he sent me one and he was like, my grandpa used to work there and I think it would be cool to go. I'm like, okay. So,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to keep going, but no.
No, it's funny because your brain is like mine. It's like the creative side of it. Like once you get me going, I'm going to tell you about like the next 10 things because I'm like, no, and then there's this, and then I got that and that. So I'm just like, that's how I think.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry. See, now I thought of another one. I also started 75 soft. It's not 75 hard. And that's another thing that I'm like, should I start posting a little bit about like my lifestyle journey and into that? But I also don't want to get lost. Like I wanted to somehow figure out how to kind of put a little bit of me in that while keeping it family experiences and stuff. So stay tuned because you might see me out here in my workout summer body. I'm just kidding.
I love it. No, that's amazing. Congratulations on everything. And thank you for coming on today. So where can we follow you? TikTok, Instagram, if people want to reach out to you directly, where can we do that?
So yes, on TikTok and on Instagram, it's Chicago_Moms. So, and maybe on YouTube soon.
That's right. We might be going to YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's a whole new world, but I'm excited for you. That's awesome. It's a lot of work. That's awesome. I'm very, very proud of you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. This was really fun.
Thank you for coming on.